Rodri for 2025. Are we doing this? Okay, so in recent days, these reports have been coming out linking us with a move for Rodri for the upcoming season. The question that I want to deal with today is it worth it? Okay, from a Madrid point of view, does he represent an upgrade on what we already have? Yes, he does. Here's why. Because last season we played with a midfield that contained, for the most part, Chouameni, Kroos, Valverde, and Bellingham was further forward so that he could join in the attacks as part of a diamond, if you will. The problem is now that Kroos has gone, we are missing that metronome like passer at the base of the midfield. Chouameni is a fantastic player, but he is not the metronome that dictates the pace of the game. Whereas Rodri is comfortable fulfilling both of those roles, and he's done so at club level for City and at international level for Spain. He's very, very comfortable leaving him in that position, which would enable us to play with three in midfield again. It would also enable us, should we wish, to play with the four in midfield, Bellingham as the diamond, and you're safe in the knowledge knowing that you can have two other dynamic midfielders to push the team further up the pitch. Or you could have two defensively inclined midfielders if you intend on bringing in, say, attacking fullbacks like Alphonso Davies or Trent Alexander Arnold on the other side, for instance, which are possibilities. We do have to consider that. Now, obviously, he gives you that professionalism. He's proven at the highest level. He does things week in, week out, and he's incredibly consistent for Manchester City. Moreover, aside from the past couple of games, he rarely misses a game for Manchester City, so he's very, very dependable as well. And clearly, he's one of the first names on the team sheet. There's a reason why he's shortlisted for the Ballon d'Or. Aside from the fact that he's achieved most trophies there are to achieve in football, he's got the quality, and we can't ignore that. However, we do have to consider the opposite side of the coin. Number one, he's 28 years old, and by the time summer rolls around, he will be 29. Okay? What this means is that when you're approaching a deal for a player that age, you have to accept the fact that you likely will not get a sell on fee. In other words, the money that you pay for him now, you will not be recouping. Unless this is without factoring in shirt sales, advertising, image rights, etc. Okay. In terms of a standalone transfer fee, you forego that if you accept this. Apart from in rare circumstances, like when Barcelona paid 50 million for Lewandowski, things like that. It's unlikely, it does happen, but for the most part, this is the most likely outcome. Anyway, that's one consideration. The second consideration is the fact that he's still under contract with Manchester City and his contract runs until 2027. What that means is that by the time summer 25 rolls around, City are under no obligation to sell him. Obviously, things can change in an instant because City is still expecting the outcome of the charges that are held against them, might force them into a precarious position, who knows? But let's just assume that that doesn't happen. Summer rolls around, City are under no obligation to sell one of their best players, and the figures that have been mooted at this early stage are all £100 million and upwards, which is a huge amount to drop on a player that's 29. I think the last time we did that, we bought a certain Belgian who ended up very, very injured and things went very, very wrong. We all know who I'm talking about. So, what would I do? Here's my stance. If you can bring in Rodri for 50, 60 million pounds tops, go ahead. I feel like even in that situation, even if you've got an unhappy Chouameni, I feel like it's worth it in terms of an operation. And we all know what could potentially happen. Remember when Chouameni signed, the first thing that happened was that Casemiro walked out through the door. Because it is difficult to maintain two players in a position which you kind of want consistency with. You want that player to be starting week in, week out. And Rodri would give that to you. So it is likely that we would have to sell on Chouameni. Is that worth it? That's another question that we need to ask. Chouameni is a player who is an established international. He played very well for us last season, even deputising well at centre-back. Has he got the potential to improve even further? I think so. Look at Valverde. When he burst onto the scene under Zidane, he was a very, very shy defensive midfielder. Yes, he was full of running, but it wasn't purposeful in the same way that it is now. Now he's a direct runner. He's willing to put the team on his back and carry them forward. It's a complete contrast to the player that emerged all those years ago. Who's to say that Tchouaméni doesn't have that upward trajectory? And it's not as if he's starting from a nothing player. He is an established player for Real Madrid. It's another consideration. So you've got my viewpoint. I'd love to know what you think. Let me know in the comments section below. And if you did enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Take care.